With the chairman, the founder of Top Rank Boxing, Mr. Bob Arum. Bob, first off, happy belated birthday, 93 years young. I don't know how you have the energy and the spirit to do this. It's really an amazing thing. Like, how are you able to keep up with all this?
Well, first off, I'm rich. What do you expect? I got access to the best food, the best women. If I need a kidney, I can have it by tomorrow.
Beats the alternative.
That's very, very true. Any day above ground is a good day, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I want to get some quick updates from you, Bob. First off, the status of Teofimo Lopez. I know it was a headline out there that a potential fight with Jaron Ennis was being pursued. What is the status of that at this point?
You want to know the status? I'll tell you the status. No matter what happens, I'm going to get paid. That's the status.
We're still pursuing that fight. We'd love that fight to happen. Our people are talking with the Ennis people. We want to do as big a fight as possible for Teofimo before the end, after the beginning of the year.
So Bob really didn't know. That man didn't know if he wanted to do the fight this year or next year. But they need T.O. to make some money. T.O. himself has said that he hasn't even made $1 million in the sport. But Bob doesn't like to work with PBC. So Eddie Hearn and Boots provides a different avenue for them to get a big fight for T.O.
So Teo would move up in weight into a new weight class at 147 pounds. Do you know a proposed location and date if that fight gets over the line?
Honestly, I don't give a fuck if they were fighting in my backyard. I used to have Terrence Crawford fight at my backyard barbecue. That's why he's not that famous today. My main focus is, do I get paid?
It could be, it depends on the opponent. But if it's Ennis, probably the best place for that fight is Madison Square Garden.
Remember, T.O. is from New York, so that would be a pro-T.O. crowd, Madison Square Garden. How the hell Boots, a fighter that's not nationally known, a Philadelphia fighter, how is his best fight Madison Square Garden? You also got to remember T.O. is signed with Bob, so Bob is biased.
It's been difficult to get Teofimo opponents. On your guys' end, what's been the difficulty there for people to step in the ring with him?
Well, all these fighters today think they're Floyd Mayweather. They want to make their own money. So there's less money for me. I can't control the money. So I want to do my fighters fighting against other top-ranked fighters. So I'm the only person who splits the pot. You got Devin Haney wanting to be an independent fighter making all his money. You got Tank Davis signed with PBC, that's a cross promotion. I don't want to lose any more money. Floyd Mayweather ruined boxing. That's my take on it.
He's so good they don't want to fight him. I mean, we offered Haney to fight, and Haney didn't want it.
Devin Haney, the man who will literally fight anybody, anywhere. He'll go to Australia, fight against biased crowds. He was calling out Lomachenko before he could even beat Lomachenko. You think he's ducking Teofimo Lopez, a fighter that doesn't know what to do when a man can box and move, like how Devin Haney could box and move? Teo lost to Sander Martin, Jermaine Ortiz. Why would Devin be ducking Teofimo? This is that Bob Arum bullshit. If you let Bob tell you Manny Pacquiao was being ducked by Floyd for all those years, even though we all know it was a problem with the needles and the PED testing.
So we'll find the big fight for Teofimo. He's a great talent, great personality, and he'll do very well both at the box office and on the pay-per-view.
Teofimo Lopez is talented, but he can only fight going forward. He doesn't know how to fight a fighter that can box and move, and he doesn't know how to fight going backwards. Also, he is not box office. Teofimo has made the least amount of money out of all of his contemporaries. Devin, Shakur, Tank, all of these guys have made more buzz and more money than Teo. If Teofimo Lopez is truly box office, then that means Bob Arum has been robbing the hell out of this man. Because Teo said that he hasn't even made $1 million in a fight at this point in his career.
What's needed to get that fight over the line? Is it good on your guys' end and it's up to Ennis and his team, or is there still some room there on both sides?
No, we're all set. It's up to the opponent and his people.
That was easy. But seriously, a lot of people have tried to make fights with T.O. Devin Haney, Keyshawn Davis. Why is it that Boots Ennis actually gets the damn fight with T.O. so fast, according to Bob Arum? Maybe it's because Bob thinks Eddie Hearn has money like that. You know, Eddie is with the Saudi Arabian people. And Bob already sees it's not like T.O. is going to be a super mega star where you have to protect him. T.O. hasn't been making money. So now Bob is ready to cash out on T.O., let him get obliterated by Boots Ennis, who's way bigger than him, and get paid knowing that T.O. is never going to be a superstar in the sport. So this is a big opportunity for Top Rank and for T.O. because he talks like he needs the money.
You know how soon you'll know, or if there's a deadline attached to that?
I'm here in Saudi Arabia, so I'm not working on it.
Look, I'm here in Saudi Arabia, so I don't know when that money is coming. All I know is that money is coming. Turkey Halal or Sheikh or however you say his name, the Arab men, they have oil, they have money. Whatever date that they need T.O. to trot his ass out there, I'll put him in some pumps, high heels, and I'll tell that little hoe to go make my money.
But the guys back home are ready, and Jeremy are working on it every day.
How do you see the fight if they do go ahead and step in the ring against each other?
I can't really say what's going to happen to Teofimo. All I know is he's been under contract for over 5 years, and he hasn't made $1 million. I thought he was going to be my bottom bitch. He turns out to be just another hole in the block. The only thing that I can tell you for sure is Vegas always wins. If Boots knocks T.O. out, which I think he's going to do since he's a larger man, I'm still going to get paid, regardless.
Well, I like Teofimo because I think he's a real great talent, but it's certainly a fight that'll be close.
Sorry, I had to hold in my laugh. Teofimo doesn't stand a chance. Boots is a larger man and a better boxer. This is a money grab.
Betting odds and create a lot of interest.
To you, Bob, outside of Ennis, what is the biggest fight you feel can be made for Teofimo at this time?
The biggest fight that could be made for any lightweight or anybody at 140 is Tank Davis. The problem is Tank Davis fights under the PBC. Bob Arum doesn't like doing business with the PBC because he doesn't like how Floyd Mayweather left him and made way more money without him. Also, when asked about fighting Tank Davis, Teofimo was on It Is What It Is with Cam and Mace, and he said it's going to be a firefight, may the best man win, something like that. But if he was truly confident, he would have said, I'm going to knock Tank out. That's what he said. He said, somebody's going to get knocked out, may the best man win. He didn't say, oh yeah, I'm going to knock Tank out. So T.O. knows that he can't beat Tank. If Bob decides to put his past discrepancies aside with Al Heyman and Floyd and them and makes the fight happen, I think that he would do it because he's already sacrificing Teofimo to Boots for a lot less money. He knows Teofimo isn't going to beat Boots, but Teofimo hasn't panned out as a star he thought he was going to be. So if you're going to sacrifice him to Boots, of course you're sacrificing the Tank because you're going to make more money. So the fight can happen, but I don't think it will happen. But for any fighter at 135 and 140, the biggest fight for them is Tank Davis. He's the biggest star at those weight classes, and he's one of the faces of boxing.
Well, maybe Haney, I think, But he seems like he doesn't have very much interest in the fight, Haney.
There we go again with this bullshit. Devin Haney doesn't have interest in a fight with Teofimo Lopez. First off, the biggest fight for any fighter, once again, is Tank Davis. But secondly, there's another big fight for T.O. Keyshawn Davis, a man who's about to be fighting Dennis Berinchik in February for the championship. Keyshawn has been calling T.O. out for 2 years. But they're going to try to single out Devin Haney, who probably doesn't have interest in fighting T.O., but T.O. knows that he can't beat Haney. Haney said that they sent something to T.O., or they tried to get in touch with T.O., and T.O.'s team backed out. One thing with me when it comes to Bob Arum, I don't trust him. I watched him lie for years on the behalf of Manny Pacquiao. If you're a Bob Arum fighter, he's going to say what he needs to say to protect his product. And that's all fine and good. But I do not trust what this man says. Plus, everybody that was under his company, they be complaining about how he stole money from them. Whether it's Bud, Floyd, Oscar. So I don't really trust his words. I don't think Haney is ducking T.O. In fact, I think T.O. is ducking Tank. Why aren't they talking about a fight with Tank Davis? That's the biggest fight. And I know T.O. is ducking Keyshawn. I seen that with my own 2 eyes.
I don't know. We'll see. When we get back, we'll all meet and decide who the best available guy is, and that's who will fight.
T.O., that's what I call him. T.O. If he can make some good money fighting Boots for the first time on the corner, then I'll give him a break. I'll spare him. I'll try to keep him on the shelf for a little bit because he made me some money. If that's the case, then you probably won't see T.O. and Haney or T.O. and SHAKUR or T.O. and Tank. I gotta protect my hoes, and I don't want him to wear that thing out too early because I want to make money for him, money with him in the long term.
Switching topics to Vasily Lomachenko, what's the status of his return, and have you heard anything about him coming back?
Yeah, speaking of Vasily Lomachenko, what is the status on him? He's the one who ruined the year of boxing for 2025. Now Tank out here fighting Lamont Roach and everybody is pissed. Loma, when Rigondeaux was old and he was smaller than you jumped in there, kicked his ass, and was talking about, maybe I changed my name to Lomachenko. But now you're the old man and Tank Davis is knocking at your door. Now you want to be a family man. Now family matters. So what's up with him, Bob?
I met with Vasily and his father and Igis a number of months ago when Loma was still living in L.A., training in L.A. after his last fight. And he told me that he wants to spend time with his kids, and he was going back to the Ukraine, and he would contact me after the new year.
I said, come on, Loma. What do you mean you're going to contact me after the new year? My hoes work year-round, round the clock, year-round. No vacations, no breaks. We got Tank Davis on the table trying to make me rich. And you're talking about a new year? Well, I got a New Year's resolution for you. You bring your ass back here now, or you will never see your family again. I can have it arranged that you get stripped of your Ukrainian citizenship and you'll be stuck here in America making money for me until you die.
Whether he wants to fight, who he wants to fight, so that's the best I can do. I can't read the guy's mind. I don't know which way he wants to operate. He's in a situation where there's a war still going on in the Ukraine, so I can't predict.
Bruh, at this point, it feels like the whole war stuff is marketing, not only for Loma's career, but also Usyk's. People always bring up the war in Ukraine when it's convenient for them to do so. The war in Ukraine has been going on for years, since before Loma fought Devin Haney, and he still finds a way to make fights and make money. Him and Usyk went down there like they were about to serve their country, and they came right back to what they knew best, which is boxing. So I'm tired of hearing about the war. It has nothing to do with their decision making with their careers. It's just good promotion. Look at these two men fighting for their country. Who wouldn't love that?
If he does decide to come back and return to boxing, I know a lot of fans want to see him come back and return. Is the targeted fight the one you guys were pursuing in 2024 against Gervonta Davis?
That would be a great fight. That would be a great fight. But there's a lot of great fights for him. Shakur Stevenson is a great fight. Keyshawn Davis would be a great fight if Keyshawn wins the world title.
Bob Arum could have made the Loma and Shakur fight years ago. Years ago. But now that Loma is 36, talking about retirement, now you want to make the Loma and the Shakur fight. Lomachenko wasn't even that big of a draw. Y'all tried to market him like he was going to be the next Muhammad Ali, the next Floyd. Lomachenko is a great boxer, a genius in the ring, but he was never a star. Never in his career. So why did you protect him from the fight with Shakur that could have potentially made both of them bigger stars? I don't know. But this is what Bob Arum does. He has fighters that he really likes, that he thinks can be stars, like a Lomachenko. Pacquiao had panned out for him. Pacquiao was a superstar, a global superstar, but he protected Pacquiao all those years. When Bob likes you and he sees talent in you and he thinks that he can market you to the masses, he's never really going to put you in that fire until you get old and you're at the end of your career. Then he'll be ready to cash out on you.
What do you make of Gervonta's comments about wanting to retire coming up at the end of next year?
This is what happens when you give these boxers too much money. When I was running the show, me and Don King, we gave them just enough money. They'd spend up all their money, and then they'd have to come right on back. Keep fighting. 35, 45, one eye, health problems. They'd still have to keep on fighting. It was great for the fans. It was great for the world of boxing. And it was great for me.
Fighters, a lot of them who've made money and want to go into other things in life.
See, it all goes back to money. Fighters back in the day made money too, but they got robbed of their money, and they didn't know how to do anything else besides boxing.
Say that, and most of the time you take it with a grain of salt.
That's a great point that Bob made, because I took it with a grain of salt. I don't think Tank is going to stay retired. A lot of boxers, they can't stay away from the limelight. Can Tank Davis pull a Barry Sanders and retire in his prime and actually stay retired? Also, is he going to manage his money correctly, which would allow him to stay retired? A lot of times the thing that brings back fighters to the ring is the money. Ray Robinson retired early, went broke, and had to come right on back to boxing.
Former fighter Shakur Stevenson against Gervonta Davis. In your opinion, how does that fight play out, and who wins that?
Shakur Stevenson. But I like to call him Shahor Stevenson. I can't believe I let that hoe slip away from me. Boring fighter, but he made a lot of money. And he never loses. The kid never fucking loses. He's somebody that I would always bet on, because I know that I'm going to win.
Well, I'm prejudiced, because even though Shakur was a former fighter in the sense that we used to promote him, I thought he was a tremendous talent. I still think he is, and I think he'll beat any lightweight with the possible exception of Keyshawn Davis.
Bob Arum knows damn well Shakur is never going to fight Keyshawn Davis. But Bob Arum also knows that Keyshawn Davis could not beat Tank right now. So why would he bring up Keyshawn Davis unless he's trying to stir the pot and get people talking about Shakur and Keyshawn and why they're not trying to fight? And why would Bob Arum want to do that unless he's sour about the fact that Shakur Stevenson left him, never made a big fight happen for him on pay-per-view, and was able to secure the money that Bob Arum told him he wasn't going to be able to secure?
That's a fight we probably will never see, huh?
Neither guy wants to fight each other.
Exactly. So Bob is just trying to give Shakur a compliment by saying, yeah, I think he could beat Tank, but he didn't want to just come outright and say that. And that would have been a great soundbite, though. But instead, he goes on to say, oh, yeah, he's great, but he won't fight Keyshawn, like he's ducking Keyshawn or something. When everybody knows Shakur doesn't want to fight Keyshawn because he looks at him like a brother, just like how Pernell Whitaker said he would never fight Meldrick Taylor.
And another subject, Bob, what's going to happen with the broadcaster in 2025 in terms of Top Rank? Where we're going to see a new home for Top Rank? Are we going to see them stay with ESPN or on various networks?
Yeah, so I don't know what's about to happen with Top Rank, but I'm about to wrap this video up. Bob Arum stated a lot of substance and a lot of bullshit mixed in this video. He pretty much said Shakur is the best lightweight in the world. He tried to make T.O. look good and act like he has a chance against Boots. He sold in trying to make that Eddie Hearns money. He didn't really want to talk too much on Tank. Of course, he still has the problems with Mayweather and the PBC. But ultimately, this was a nice little interview. It revealed a lot. We learned a lot. We learned that Shakur is that guy. We learned that Tank probably is retiring, but he might come back. We learned that Teofimo has been ducking people, and he's a part of the Bob Arum protection plan. But Bob is ready to make some real money with T.O. So don't be surprised if we see T.O. and Tank later, because T.O. hasn't made that many money, so Bob is ready to cash out on him. And we also learned that Lomachenko is up in the air. Nobody knows what his old ass is going to do. We just know that he's in Ukraine acting like it has something to do with the war and taking care of his family. But y'all let me know what y'all think.